Hello world! Today is a fabulous day because today I hit 20 subscribers. Yes, that's right. 20 people decided to subscribe to this lousy channel. Not that you shouldn't subscribe like right now before you've even watched this video, because you should do that. Critics would say that my fan base is completely made up of my friends and family, and to that I would say that's definitely true, but honestly I'm just surprised that none of you called me up and said, "I hate you, never speak to me again." So thank you for that. Well folks, we've hit a milestone, which means it's time to get out your best turkey running shirts and your biggest kazoos, because we're going to party. And by that I mean talk about my past YouTube ideas. I actually had a lot of YouTube ideas, which is weird considering I never went through with any of them, except for this one. My first YouTube idea was to be an Animal Jam YouTuber. If you don't know what Animal Jam is, this is a game that back in 2016 was very popular with children. The purpose of the game was to go, turn into a bunny and then go into the Pell Room and ask to be adopted. Surprisingly enough, this game for children had a very large YouTube fan base with lots of channels and lots of people subscribed to those channels. There really wasn't very much to achieve from this game, but that did not stop me from playing it for hours every single day. I was obsessed with this game. And the obsession somehow warranted me to think I should start a YouTube channel. But to do that, I needed to be a pro Animal Jammer. That meant getting the membership that costs money. How did I have money? I was like 7. And then trading up for the best item in the entire game, the spiked collar. I worked hours and hours and hours to get this little spiked dog collar that people have arbitrarily decided is super valuable. So in Animal Jam, to get stuff that you wanted, you could trade with other people. So I just traded up and up and up until I was finally able to get it. I even actually did some research on what were fair trades for this object. And finally, I got this purple spiked collar. What's important to say about this is that it was a long spiked collar, because yes, there were different subclasses of spiked collar that had different values according to how they looked. The most popular and the rarest spiked collar was a black spiked collar, and I only had a purple. So my goal was to trade up from purple to a black, so I kept working and working and working. Then eventually I kind of just lost interest in the game. I was never able to get up to that level of getting the black spiked collar. When I was in 6th grade, like a year after I finally gotten out of this Animal Jam phase, I made a terrible decision. I gave the password to my account to my younger brother. He hacked into my account and stole my purple spiked collar and gave it to a friend. And I still hate him for it to this day. The lesson here, kids, is don't give anyone your login for information, because if you do, you will die sad and alone with no one to remember you. About a year after that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be a vlogger. I don't think I even really watched any vloggers. I just thought my life is interesting, which it wasn't. My birthday was coming up and I was like, you know what? Mom, Dad, I want a camera. And my dad was like, do you want a GoPro? And I was like, oh, no, I don't want a GoPro. But because I was too scared to be like, well, I actually want a camera for vlogging, I just said yes. Back then I was like, I can't use a GoPro, something that feels action, for vlogging. Today, if I had gotten that GoPro, I probably would have actually just started the vlogging channel. Or I could have just used this little thing, which actually, my videos today, a lot of them are on this. So I, unfortunately, never started that vlogging channel. Yeah, I know, very unfortunate. I'm sure it would have been very successful. At one point, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do video essays. I'm going to talk to a camera about things that I like. But really, I feel like this was just an excuse to talk about Riverdale, because like, season 1 was so good. Like, they had a plan, they knew what they were doing, but then season 2 and 3 came around and like, they had no idea what they were doing. Like, they were just putting out things randomly, there was no plot, no one decided to make a... I also want to make little short films and put them on YouTube. But I didn't. I actually wrote one short film. Like, I went through the process of writing it. I had my aunt edit it for me. But like after that failed to get me into a program for creative writing, I was kind of like, nope, I failed. Which is funny because the title of the script is called Fail. Last summer, I wanted to make singing videos. If it wasn't clear by my amazing kazoo playing skills, I am a singer. I go to an art school for singing, which means I'm a talented person and you can't say anything to me. I don't know where that came from. So when I got into art school, I was like, I want to make YouTube videos to track my singing progress, see how much better I get. But I never did that because I was too afraid. I kept filming take after take after take of the same song with my own ukulele accompaniment. But I was so scared and I kept making these tiny mistakes that only I would notice, and I was like, I'm not posting that. And I never did. So I just decided to post some singing videos on TikTok because that was just like a lot less pressure, because there were just these tiny videos and like people would see them or they wouldn't, and it didn't matter. And actually one of them got a tiny bit of clout. So, I mean, I'm pretty happy with how that went. But I'm glad I didn't make any of those channels. Not just because those ideas sucked, but because I'm kind of happy I'm here. I like this channel. It makes me happy. I'm glad that people like watching my videos and that people subscribe to me. Even again, if it's just my family and friends, because I love you guys. I do. I've learned a lot in these past 5 videos. I've gotten a little less awkward talking to the camera, and I have brushed up on my kazoo playing skills. I don't think that was helpful. I've also learned how to find the most perfect, obnoxiously watermarked stock photos. And I can now definitely say I know how to use iMovie. Speaking of which, one of my YouTube ideas was to make a channel explaining how to use iMovie. Yeah. And now it's time for a shameful plug. Thank you for watching this video. I have zero idea why you would do that, but it really means a lot to me that you did. I know you've already done so much for me by looking at my face for 5 to 10 minutes. I don't know, I haven't edited this video yet. And it's kind of embarrassing to even ask this or bring this up, but if you would like to, I have some other videos that you could watch. That would be great. Thank you. And I also have some other platforms that I'm on, and the link for those are in my bio. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I hope this was at least a little bit enjoyable, and if it wasn't, dislike the video. Do it. Do it right now, you coward. Finally, I can turn on the air conditioner.